every one of you. Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you, each and every one of you. Tammy, Will, thank you for opening your lovely home. It's real. I have not been here. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, just like its hostess and your family. So thank you so much. John, thank you for your comments. I appreciate those. I should say that I've got an easy job here this evening. I'm here to just give an award to a friend of yours and a friend of mine. Someone who is so obviously deserving that it makes it real easy. And she has her husband, my friend Howard, and children here. So it's a real pleasure for me to be here this evening. But before I give this award, I've got to take just a second. Just a second.
That makes me nervous.
And talk about Florence Shapiro. Before I talk about Florence Shapiro, I just need to follow up on one thing that was said about Madeline McClure. We had started the nurse-family partnership, and I understand that Madeline wasn't quite sure whether she ought to bring the baby in. All right, let me tell you, where is Kern Wildenthal? Is he back there, right back there? Kern would approve. Kern twisted my arm for funding for UT Southwestern more than anyone that I could. You did a great job, Kern. But Kern, you may have some competition with Madeline McClure. We were talking about whether or not we could continue the funding, and as you saw the graph, as a matter of fact, when I saw the graph, I had to write it down on this card because, did we spend that much money? because I can understand sort of a jagged line. This was a 45-degree angle, straight line. So Madeline, you did real well. You did real well. But I think the second session that we had the program in, and there was a question about whether or not we had the funds to go ahead and improve the project. Halfway through the meeting, Madeline brings in one of the young women who had been assisted by the nurse family practice. And she said, well, just talk to the lieutenant governor. So she was telling me her story, and I'm into it, and I'm feeling this is really good. And she said, oh, and there's something else. And so she goes to the door of my conference room. She opens the door. She's running the meeting by this time. She opens the door. In walks a sweet lady, the nurse practitioner, and this lady's baby. And she holds the baby up and she says, don't you want to help this baby? I mean, what am I doing today? Did I knock your... Okay. So when that situation happens, the answer is yes. Yes. Shameless, absolutely shameless. But a cute baby, a very cute baby, a cute baby. This evening, TexProtects, this is the annual fundraiser event where awards are given out, and I'm really honored to be here. I really am, particularly being asked to give an award to someone that I think is such a deserving recipient. Someone who has truly, all the time that I've ever known her, Florence Shapiro may not be quite as tall as I am, but she's got a heart as big as the state of Texas. She really cares. She cares. And I've told her several times, will you stop coming into my office and getting upset? Because I get upset when you start doing that. But she has done more. She's done so much for children who are at risk and have nobody else to protect them. And she's done so much for children who are at risk and have no one else to help educate them. I remember when I came into the Senate in January of 2003, I was talking to Florence about changing committees from one committee to another, and I said, you know, you're going to have a legacy opportunity to influence our children for decades and decades to come, and you have. Florence Shapiro has dedicated her whole life to helping the people of the state of Texas. And again, if she's passionate about anything, it's helping our young children. Obviously, over the years, Florence has gotten lots of awards and lots of recognition, but her passion is children. And the way she's helped children not only in the legislation she's passed, but also in the role that she's played as the chair of our Senate Education Committee, focusing on how to improve opportunities for every deserving child. A devoted wife, a mom, a grandmother, okay, a teacher, a city council member, a mayor, one of our most accomplished senators, leaders in the Senate. Florence Shapiro has had a lifetime of achievement. Lifetime of achievement. Plus, almost every morning she sends me an email, tells me what to do. And Mama didn't raise a dumb boy. I try and do it every day. But, you know, from passing the nurse family a partnership, there's truly been a huge, huge bill. The nurse family partnership has made such a big difference. It started off small, and you saw in the graph, less, you know, it was zero, and now it's at $45 million, okay? And the reason for that is Florence Shapiro in a partnership with Madeline McClure and trying to help kids who don't have anyone to protect them against abuse and neglect. I was fortunate growing up. My dad was killed by a drunk driver when I was 3 years old, and I was raised by my mom, and we didn't see any of that. But as I may have mentioned last year or the year before, it was on one of those days in which Governor Perry was absent from the state and we had an execution planned. And I'm not saying every time there's an execution, Governor Perry is out of state. I'm not saying that. But I've done like 40 of these now. And the one that stands out as the most outrageous was a fellow that had done some despicable things to a little 5-year-old girl and then killed her. And that traumatized me. My staff always asked me, tell me the details of what you read. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't say to Julia Rathgaber what I'd read. I was so upset. So I started out a journey in which I've talked to hundreds of victims of sex abuse. I've talked to hundreds of parents. I've talked to doctors, and we ended up in the Senate with Florence's help in passing the toughest justice law in the country, sending a message, don't hurt our kids, don't mess with our kids in Texas. And my model for that is our friend Florence. She had led in passing the Ashley laws, which are now being copied all around the country. They toughen the penalties on sex offenders. They require mandatory treatment for convicted sex offenders and strict monitoring. We could go on and on about Florence Shapiro, but Florence in a group of mainly men, although we've got 6 women, 7 women, can be as tough as nails and bring us to our knees in remembering compassion when as she feels it. And I thank you for that. The Texas Senate will not be as quality The Texas Senate will lose a great leader with your moral compass, your integrity, and your hard work. We obviously get along. On behalf of everyone here this evening and all of the people of Texas, it's my great honor to be asked by TexProtects to give you the Lifetime Achievement Award, the 2012 Lifetime Achievement Award for fighting every day to make Texas a better state, to better protect children who are vulnerable, our most precious resource, and to improve the education opportunities of every child, every deserving little child out there. God bless you, Lawrence Shapiro.